Hi, today we had a good, nutritious, and sumptuous breakfast of Pongal and Street Sambhar. So, the Pongal which we made was with a little difference, that was with lapsi instead of rice, and the usual moong dal, and the regular tadka which we use for that tempering, and all the other ingredients which go into the regular Pongal. Only difference is instead of rice we use the broken wheat. So this is how we made it. Took the proportions as shown for the broken wheat and the moong dal. That is, if you take one scoop of broken wheat, you take 3/4 scoop of moong dal, whichever measurement you take, cup or spoon or measuring spoon, anything. So this is how you measure it, and then wash everything and add it to the cooker, and then add a little ginger and a couple of green chilies and a few peppercorns. Just put it into that and add water. So the water which we add will be for both the moong dal and the lapsi or the broken wheat. That is, for lapsi I used 1:3 ratio water, and for the moong dal I used 1:1 ratio water. So here, since I had made one measure of big measure of lapsi and 3/4 measure of moong dal, I had 3 plus 3/4, that is roughly 4 glasses of water I added. And you have to add a little hing and salt to this, and before you close the cooker, just add a drop of ghee so that the whole thing doesn't come out when the cooker whistles. So this is how the pongal was ready. And for the tadka I used a little ghee, and generally this is what my mother taught me, a little ghee and gingerly oil. I mix both and then I get the tadka ready. For that you need a little cashews and curry leaves, and I had freshly ground pepper and jeera, so I used that mixture also. So first fry the cashews till they are golden, and then add the curry leaves, and then this freshly ground pepper jeera powder, that is roughly ground coarsely. That's it, the pongal is ready. Now we go to the Roattu kada Sambhar or the street sambhar, which is very tasty actually. So for this we need tomatoes, onions, and what we do is we take a couple of tomatoes and one onion aside, and a couple of tomatoes and one onion to be boiled, along with a couple of green chilies, and I use a little kasuri methi. If you have fresh methi leaves, you can use the fresh methi leaves. So put all this into a bowl and pressure cook this. On the other hand, you have the 2 tomatoes. You can dice the tomatoes and chop the onions into small pieces, and then you can start frying it in sauteing it to such an extent that the oil gets separated from this mixture, and then I add to it salt and haldi powder. And then what I do is I add this curry powder, which I always keep with me. That is, I will also tell you the ingredients. It consists of chana dal and a little dhania. That is, if you take 1 measure of chana dal, you can have half a measure of dhania, that is coriander seeds, and then a few red chilies according to your taste. So red chilies you can look at the measure which I have taken, just a bunch of them, and then a little hing, and then dry roast all this, and then you can use it, you can powder it coarsely and keep it. This is useful for using in sauteed vegetables, or even we can stuff brinjals with this powder. This is what we do. So with this I used this powder, that is 2 tablespoons of this powder to this sauteed onions and tomatoes, and then further sauteed. I don't add salt to that powder, so whenever I use it, I add the salt to the vegetable and add this powder to it. So that is how I use that powder. I keep it stored safely. So And then once the other vegetables are boiled, I just take them to the mixie, grind them, the boiled, there's the tomatoes and onion and green chilies and kasuri methi which I had kept it in the cooker to boil them. So I add it to the mixie, and once they are well, when the paste is ready, I add it to this sauteed onion and tomatoes, and then I mix it well, and then I add water to the required consistency. If you need it a little thick, you can add less water. If you need it a little watery, you can add more water. Generally what happens is, for pongal we have it a little thick, whereas for idli or dosa we like to have it a little more liquid. So it depends on our taste. And once that is done, add just a pinch of fennel powder. You can either buy it from the store, or you can make it at home by dry roasting the fennels and then pounding it in your pestle. So that way you just add a small pinch, not too much, because the whole thing will smell of fennel. Just to give the flavor, just add a little bit, and then when the whole thing comes to a boil, add coriander leaves, and that's it. So you can enjoy a lovely Pongal and Street Sambhar. Thank you.